Hi all, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to discuss about mediated design pattern. This is like behavioral design pattern. I have already shared complete videos on creation design pattern and structural design pattern. If you miss those videos, I'll put the link in description. Please go and watch. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to get my new future videos. Let's start the video. Mediated design pattern, what exactly mediate? Let's say we are a group of friends. At some point of time we are friends, but suddenly we become we got clashes within ourselves. So, but there is one person who basically becomes a neutral in every group. That's nothing but a mediator, the person who don't involve in any of the these fighting activities, but during whenever during cooldown, right, he acts as a mediator to pass the messages, to communicate with that person, with this person. So that's exactly how what mediator do, and here also that's exactly what mediator will do in the Java also, in a design pattern way. So this is an example of same thing whatever I just discussed, so I think no point of saying any again. Let's see standardization. Define object mediator that encapsulates how set of objects interact other people. Mediator promotes loose coupling by keeping objects from referring to each other explicitly. So mediator will only communicate with other people. That's why it promotes a loose coupling because if mediator is not doing like that, right? So it becomes tight couple. Every object will communicate with every other object. So, and also because of this mediating the single person with all other persons, we are reaching the single responsibility principle. So mediator is responsible to communicate with other people, um, and lets you vary their interactions independently. So structure is basically very simple. I have a mediator object, let's say mediator interface. I have an implement concrete mediator implementation. So every colleague has a common friend called mediator. So let's say colleague 1, colleague 2, colleague 3. Let's say if we talk about in a French language. So every colleague has a mediator. So we'll just only say to the mediator, and mediator will be responsible to say to the other people, all other people. Let's see how this design looks like. So let's say friend 2 wants to send a message sends a message to other people, but he is not talking with other people, right? He just simply sends to the mediator. Mediator is responsible to send the message to the rest of the friends. So that's how mediator program also looks like. So it's very easy thing. So before that, we'll just see some complex examples. Then we can directly go into the Java program. Let's say you got some UI. In the UI, if you see, right, let's say whenever you hold the particular radio button, in the below there are some new drop downs, new fields will come. Let's say initially nothing will be there, but suddenly if you click on something, that because of that action other things will be executed. And also that may not be it can be happen to multiple places also, when in an application. And also when you enter a field, it might be some submit button might be disabled until unless you enter all the fields. So you will see all the validations, right, that we can correlate as a mediator. So often there are dependencies between the widgets in the dialog. For example, a button gets disabled when a certain entry field is empty. So selecting an entry in a list of choices called a list box might change the contents of an entry field. So conversely, typing text in the entry field might automatically select one or more corresponding entries in the list box. So buttons may become enable or disable. So different dialog boxes will have different dependencies between widgets. So even though dialogs display the same kind of widgets, they can't simply reuse widget classes. So they have to customize it to reflect dialog specific dependencies. So customizing them individually by subclassing will be tedious. So we are basically changing it at single point. It will be that one basically helping us to communicate with others. So you can avoid this problem by encapsulating a collective behavior in a separate mediator object. So you are doing all these things in a single object and let people communicate with others to how others should respond. So a mediator is responsible by controlling and coordinating the interactions of group of objects. A mediator serves as intermediary that keeps objects in a group from referring to each other explicitly, thereby reducing the number of interconnections. use the mediator design pattern is a good choice when you don't want tight coupling, when you want to provide a loose coupling, because tight coupling is ultimately hard to maintain, and also it will also follow single responsibility principle we just now discussed, right? And we can introduce as many mediators without changing the existing behavior, like open for extensions, adding new mediators, and close it for modifying the existing one. Use of mediator pattern is a good choice if you are dealing with a set of objects that are tightly coupled and hard to maintain, and also if you want to reduce the dependencies between the object communication. And by using the mediator pattern, we are like providing single responsibility principle, and there can be many number of mediators can be added without basically breaking the system, which will also following the open closure principle. So there are like some of the advantages, basically centralized control, abstracts how objects cooperate, simplified objects protocol, decoupled colleagues, and limit subclassing. Centralized means it's like mediator is only one communication others, right? And abstracts how objects cooperate. One object how it will cooperate other objects, it don't know, like mediator is responsible. So thereby the protocol also simplified, like when you want to communicate with the another object, you will directly communicate with the mediator. Like let's see an example to get a better idea. So here, according to the class diagram, you have a mediator called chart mediator. It has two functions. One is like add user, and second thing is like send message. So add user basically adding the users, which is nothing but adding a colleague, like, and message is basically sending a particular message. This user is basically sending this message. So we have chart mediator IMPL. So we have send message, right? So this user is sending this message, right? So as mediator is central point of communication, so mediator is responsible to send the messages to all the other messages to all the other users, right? So from mediator, every user will get the message, and if you want to add the users into your group through mediator, you can add the users, like. So according to the diagram, so colleague has a mediator, right? In our classes, colleague is basically user. So user has basically mediator, and user has already name. So it has like constructor called like mediator and also name. So it has like two functions. One is like send, second thing is like receive. So it has like concrete colleagues are there. For now I have created only one user, like. So user has like a user IMPL has like mediator name. So here first is like whenever sending through mediator, we basically send message. So anyway that user has like a mediator, right? We are using that mediator to send the message, like and whenever receiving, we just getting the message, like. So in the main program, we have like around 4 users are there. Let's say Ramarao, Rajamouli, Ramcharan, and Keeravani. Like they are like RRR crew, and we are adding all the users into the mediator. Now user 1 sends the message, hey, we won the Golden Globe Award for Naatu. So and also if user 1 sends, like when Ramarao sends the message, Rajamouli, Ramcharan, Keeravani will get. When user 2 sends message like congratulations, like, and also user 4 sends the message thank you, and Ramcharan is saying for fingers crossed for future awards. When you execute this one, right, you will understand how the communication happens, like. So first Ramarao sends the message, and Rajamouli, Ramcharan, and Keeravani receives the message. Similarly, Rajamouli sends the message, and Ramarao, Ramcharan, and Keeravani receives the message. Likewise, one is basically sending the message to the mediator. Mediator is basically sending the messages to the other people, like. So in the mediator IMPL, we have like all the users. So from this user, mediator is basically sending the messages, like so all the users are basically receiving. So this is how a simple mediator we can implement with the help of Java. And mediator also one more easy design pattern. So I think that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you got what exactly mediator design pattern. If you have any doubts, please your comments in the description in the comment box. I will try to reply most of the comments. If you like the video, please subscribe and like and share to your friends also, so that they can also get benefited. Like in the next video, we'll discuss about like Memento design pattern. Like so soon we are completing the behavioral design patterns. So for now, bye bye.